I was born and raised in Guatemala. I was in your seat. I was telling Tommy I did my first semester of college in El Valle, and then I went abroad overseas to study. I studied finance and economics, worked for several years, then I got my master's degree, and then worked for Amazon for 5+ years. In Amazon, I started in Amazon Web Services as a product manager. I then moved to e-commerce international expansion to help Amazon launch in Amazon in Mexico, and then in Australia. That's where we met with Tommy, and then we help Amazon integrate a e-commerce company, payments and logistics in the Middle East. And in 2019, I left Amazon to build Pacifico. I saw a very big opportunity to add value to customers, to people and to suppliers here in Central America. I think e-commerce provides a lot of value across the board. It creates a lot of jobs in technology and improves people's life. So that's why I left Amazon. When I was working with Tommy, he told me I was crazy, but he supported my idea of building something from scratch. Yeah, and Tommy has been super helpful. We met, as I mentioned, in Amazon 2015. He led the technology side. And I'll let him introduce, but Tommy has been a very good friend and investor and advisor in Pacifico on the technology side. He has helped us build a lot. People like you have helped us, myself, build Pacifico, and Tommy has been also his mentor. This is his first time in Guatemala. I emailed Douglas to let him know that we have Tommy here, and I hope you enjoy what he has to tell you today. I'm going to ask him several questions, but I'll also leave time for you to ask him questions. So hopefully this is interactive. The purpose is also that you can learn a lot. So yeah, glad to see you all here. Thank you for coming.
Hey, Jorge, first, thank you for coming to the meeting so late. And so I have been here for 4 days now. I really enjoy the country and have been toured different sides. And I keep telling Jorge, the team it's so fortunate for Guatemala has a Pacific on the other side and the Gulf on the side. You have mountain, you have beautiful nature, and volcano give you so many nutrients, so your plant grow probably taller than other place. So great country, really happy that you guys enjoy the country and make the great place to live. So when Jorge said that he decided to quit Amazon, go back to Guatemala, he said, I told him he's crazy. More than that, is that before that, I don't even know Guatemala country, what it is. He actually teach me and tell me and introduce me to this wonderful country and being able to work a lot of wonderful people, young people like you all. It has been a great privilege and a pleasure. So probably I told a little bit story when we first met or we worked together. So when we worked together, we actually in Amazon and we actually give a charter is do international expansion. And Jorge at that time worked with me. We create a slogan like this: is Amazon has changed many people's life in US in the last 20 years. However, there's still 3 million people, or 3 billion people actually, hasn't been able to enjoy the technology and what all the advantage bring to them. So that's our charter, that's our goal. Now, Jorge is actually practice it. He actually bring the e-commerce, bring the technology to Guatemala and also to Central America. It's great example to level the play field and also great example to bring technology to change people's life.
Thank you. This a lot has been with Tommy's help, by the way. Yeah, but we're firm believers that technology can transform people's life. So why don't you tell us a little bit? So Tommy was born and raised in China, and then you moved to the US. You developed a great career in Hewlett-Packard, then Amazon, then Moderna, and now he has built 2 startups. Can you walk us through a little bit and how you started adopting technology, how that has adopted, because all computer science, right? Here, yeah.
So it's quite interesting is that I grew up in China and I learned, already obtained my master's degree in China. But that time is my monthly salary, roughly, I can tell you, is about $25 per month. And I decided to come to United States and learn computer science. And then I joined Hewlett-Packard at that time. But that time is actually an interesting one. Is the first technology shift. It is internet. Before that, people want to get a computer, you need to make a phone call, or you need to go to Best Buy to actually buy it. But that time is the first time internet changed the world at that time. So I'm part of Hewlett-Packard built their first e-commerce site. Now people get surprised, say, oh, actually I can buy a computer and the computer will show up in my door. So that is actually the things that maybe a little bit difficult for everybody else here to understand, but that is a major change. Anything you take for granted at that time does not exist. So that is the first time that you can see that technology clearly start to change people's life. And that is quite interesting for Hewlett-Packard for almost 10 years. Then I'm lucky to get into a second technology shift. So how many people here know that your cell phone can have a keyboard? Probably very few of you. Okay, that's, how old are you? Yeah. At that time, we called probably BlackBerry is the thing, right? So you said you have a keyboard on that time. And the iPhone and Android actually changed the whole way that how people access computing, and the mobile computing become the second technology shift. I'm also very lucky to be part of it, start to building application on iPhone and Android, and start to give our salespeople, they will be able to actually show the computer configuration on the screen. Then it's something that is never happened before. Then after that, I am lucky to join Amazon, work with Jorge to start to build e-commerce. And in the turn that actually I'm part of a supply chain technology leader for Amazon Grocery and also Whole Food. Because it's interesting turn at that time is Amazon is an online company, but at that time they want to start transit into a physical store as well, basically become omni-channel. And the first category they choose is actually grocery, because the theory is you may buy a computer once a year, but you need to do grocery every week. So Amazon foolishly entered that category, but quickly learned that it's very hard, because in grocery it's very different from the general merchandise. You need a lot of machine learning, science, optimization to be able to get the right product to the right place at the right amount and be able to give to the customer in the high quality. We have been able to really leverage a lot highway optimization like machine learning, operation research, AI intelligence to really be able to help us automate the entire process. And if you think about that, we have a few hundred stores that no manual order at all. Every product get into the store is actually through computer, through automation, and the automation is actually calculate a lot of econ value to say which product is actually should be there. So it's a really an interesting journey for me. And after Amazon, I joined Moderna. How many people take COVID shot this year? Probably very few, but last couple of years it has been a very important innovation, technology innovation, actually save a lot of people's life. So I was there to take the data, AI, and robotics, and we're actually using AI in many aspects of our operation and research to be able to actually bring the wonderful medicine to the customer. That brings me to the third technology shift in the last 30 years is the AI. So since in the last probably 3 or 4 years, how many of people using ChatGPT? Okay. If you haven't, you should do it. Your professor hates it, but you should do it. So this will help you do your homework much easier. So this is the third technology shift. So and this time that Jorge actually showed a lot of good example for me that be an entrepreneur, you have a lot of chance to actually directly change the industry, directly change a lot of people. Then I take his footprint to actually create my own company using a lot of latest AI technology, how many of you using a kind of coding tool to help you, like Cursor, Copilot? Do you guys use it? Okay. Is a professor allow the student to use? It's a very important tool and actually help you a lot. Anyway, so maybe I take too much time on this one already, is that then we start a new company, and I already sold my first company. Right now, I'm working on the second company, and luckily, I'm collaborate with Jorge to using AI in his company. In the last 2 days, I have been working closely with the wonderful people in his company to build the AI transformation strategy. We hopefully that using AI to help Pacifico really achieve that AI automated operation.
Thank you, Tommy. So as Tommy mentioned, he has been in different technology shifts across his many years of experience. In Amazon, he started in international expansion, like helping Amazon expand the e-commerce. Then he moved to help Amazon build a grocery. Basically, it's a supermarket online. It's very different to sell a pair of shoes or a cell phone versus the entire supermarket with many products and how to optimize for the shipping and the cost embedded in that. So a lot of intelligence behind it. And then he also, the last kind of phase, him in Amazon, he helped Amazon launch a new, he was in Amazon Web Services where you helped to launch a new software. I'm pretty sure here the audience want to know a little bit more about your experience there, how Amazon really focuses on technology to drive change. I think you all studying here computer science, it's going to open a lot of doors for you, but how Amazon sees that, what impressed you when you were working there, obviously, and then how Amazon is also a company that really thinks about scale, how to grow big, fast. If you can share a little bit of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Amazon is really, joining Amazon is really eye-opening for me. So even though I'm in the computer science, even though I'm really, my whole career is in the software development side. But when you're in a big corporation, typically you call the software is IT department. It's basically a supporting function for you to do business. Amazon is totally different, is that it is a technology-driven company. So they are a technology company first, an e-commerce company second. So basically that they are really using technology in different fronts to how they optimize the experience, how they being able using data to make a data-driven decision, how they actually using AI and optimization in every single step of their journey, right? And what I'm observing Jorge right now is he actually copied the playbook in his new company now. Even today, when they do the data, they call WBR, called weekly business review, is many slides, many data, and tell about how the customer come to their site, how the customer travel journey looks like, why customer buys the product or why customer don't buy a product, and which inventory they should maintain, etc. It's really eye-opening that the technology data can really make the operation or make your business is become really a data-driven decision. Instead of, hey, I know my business for last 25 years, so I should do certain things. No, it's totally changed because the technology and the data and AI actually provide a lot different aspect of your business. But I'm going to off track a little bit on this one is how many of you watch baseball game? Okay, so you probably know that today the baseball technology has dramatically changed how you manage a baseball team, how you do the recruiting, how you evaluate talent, how you do the game planning, etc. Similar thing is Amazon is actually using a technology to prove that data and technology will help you make much smarter decision. It's also technology can help you really scale beyond just your business. So if today Jorge's business grow about 70% or 80%, he's not happy, right? He say, I need to grow 100%, 125%. But if in any company you grow by 60%, 70%, it's kind of impossible without technology. Now that he can use technology to actually grow his business. So I think you're all in a golden age right now, that there's a third transformation happening, and you are in the right field to learn computer science. There's so many things you can do to make the entire world much better.
Thank you. Tommy also mentioned that obviously after several years of experience, now he's building his own startup or company. He already built the first one. You can probably tell a little bit about what you did. You already sold the first company, and now you're building the second company, and that's why he's here. He obviously is very excited about Pacifico, but we're collaborating now with how to use AI to accelerate, in our case, Pacifico, and so he's testing also the platform he's building. Why did you got into AI? Kind of explain to us and how you see that coming.
I don't think I need to explain too much about how wonderful ChatGPT is or other related foundation model is. You are in the computer science and you are in the field. You probably already have very good assessment already. I can tell a little bit about the journey that Jorge and I want to be. So the first company I created is called the Supply Chain Operating System. So originally the goal, because I have a lot of experience in supply chain, so we try to build a product is that help people to really optimize supply chain operations, supply chain management using software. So it's a great success, and I'm really fortunate to find a few partners that they are willing to invest in the software, and they acquired my product as well as my company for this. But at that time, I know that what I really want to do is building a AI company. And the journey we want to do is how we bring AI into the real business. So right now, there's a significant amount of focus on the infrastructure. There's significant focus on the foundation model itself. Jeff Bezos, who is the CEO for Amazon, did an interview a few months ago in Italy. And what he said is, when you will know AI is something that big is when the AI has been blended into your everyday operation. His talk is that he believes every company will use AI. His point is every hotel, every restaurant, every supermarket, they will use AI one way or another. And that is the journey that right now Jorge and I on is we are not just be a person to use ChatGPT. We want using AI, blend AI into his directly the business operation perspective. So I just give one example that the use case we are working on today is, did I disclose too much trade secret on this? Okay. So many of the sellers that Jorge helped in Guatemala, they do not have any online experience. They have good products, they display as a physical form, and people come in and buy. So what Jorge did is he laid out e-commerce platform, then people can actually go to e-commerce site, sell their product. But they do not have any experience how to build a catalog. They don't have any experience to say, okay, I have to have really fancy picture. I really have good product description. Otherwise people won't be able to see it, right? So what we are working on today is say, can we use AI develop a tool, part of his catalog process? Even the seller give limited information. We can use AI to actually to enrich the content, build the data into the right category and make it available on the site. Then the time the people say, oh, I want to search shoes for men. Then because that the catalog already have all the information, then people will be able to find it. So that is a use case that we want AI to be blended into every of the business operation. And this is a huge opportunity. If you think about total investment we are talking about right now on the infrastructure, AI model, etc., is $1 trillion level. for that one to be effective, for that one to be useful, you have to blend that AI in every your business decision, any software. And it is clearly that AI provides tremendous efficiency that otherwise you have to spend a lot human time to work on it.
Got it. Can you give also, thank you for sharing that. Can you give some color to them on how many people you actually need to start and build your own business? I'm not sure how many of you are interested in building your own business or getting into a business, but I think the message here is we in Pacifico, and you're also doing that, is trying to build a lot with less, because obviously at the end of the day you want to go very fast when you're building a business, whether it's in HP or Amazon or now in a startup like Pacifico or your business. Can you explain to them, what your expectation is? I was surprised when you told me about what you build with the number of people you have.
I'm not sure that's a good story for students here. If you don't hire people, then. But the core story of here is that the way you build the resource you need to build a product has been dramatically reduced. So because the tools available. So one story I want to share on this one is that 30 years ago, when I was still working in the early field that we won't start anything, then one is you don't have technology. You need 10 years to learn the machine. You need 10 years, another 10 years for people to bring the latest technology to you. And 20 years ago, when we talk about internet, how many people in Guatemala really have access to internet? Right. So you just simply, the resource is not available for you. However, right now, that anytime this new AI model available, everybody on the world, you can access it. Right. So the way, if my encouragement for the student here is that if you really want to solve a problem, if you want to solve a problem by using technology, the barrier is very low because you already have to access the latest wonderful model already. And with all the AI help, etc., you don't need to hire 20 people to build software anymore. You actually can build with 2 or 3 or 4. Then you actually can automate a lot work already. So that's what I think maybe Jorge you want to lead into is that right now that doing an entrepreneur, building product, is the barrier has been very low now. And also the case is that embrace the latest technology, make it much simpler. Because I cannot imagine that the software I'm working with Jorge today, if in the old time, if I build it, probably I need 40 people to do it. The bad part is that when you think about 40 people to build it, you probably already give up on day one, right? Today, this software we are building is only take about 4 people to build it. And that is the reason is that you can afford to build because the barrier is much lower right now.
Thank you. Just switching topics also, Tommy, for context, he built a very large team in Amazon from 0 to more than 400 people. He was living in Houston. He moved to Austin when he went to Amazon. That's when we started building Amazon in Australia. You built a team very fast. What do you look when you were hiring, talent like the audience today? You hired we work with a lot of very young people coming out of college. You also hired very experienced people and anything in between. What characteristics you look in people when hiring?
Yeah, Jorge, the reference doesn't mean I lower the standard. Even though we hire a few hundred people, then we really keep very high standard and get really good people. But one thing important is for us, the most important thing is, do you have a desire to be successful? So all the candidates, the skill you can learn, but the desire is not something we can teach. So a lot of the attribute will help you to be successful and to desire to be a good person, desire to make difference, desire to make a direct impact to the people around you is the most important thing we look for. And for young people or college hire, we look a lot is your curiosity. Do you really want to learn new things? Do you want to apply the things you learned in the new field? And it's a little bit unique for me when I interview the young graduate student, etc. I'm always ask the student to read code. The reason for that, if you think about today in the computer world, is there's so many open source software available. If you want to solve a problem, the quickest way is you learn from the things available in the community. So Jorge said that that's probably my best trick is that when I identify a talent is instead of I ask you to write 1,000 lines of code, I will give you 1,000 lines of code and ask you to read. Because many the people I found successful is you learn from the community, you learn from the open source package, then you apply those things into your real world.
Got it. We're also sharing about how we have built Pacifico, and with the help of Douglas and several students from university, we have built something relatively big now with very young talent, with very good attitude. How do you grow them from, recent college? And then they have good attitude, but what comes next?
Yeah, I think a really good question is that the good intention or good attitude only get you to certain degree, right? So it's not like all the way there. And the time I spend in the Pacifico and talk to the young people that you hired is that one thing stand out for them is they really think that the customer impact is very important for their job. Their job is not just coming here, 8 o'clock check-in, 5 o'clock check-out. They come in here to work is, can I build a better product for my customer? Can I make a better experience for my seller? Can I make more people benefit from the product we build? And that focus, that intention, eventually will translate very good or very success in the career. Because when you focus on your business impact, focus on your customer impact, you are not focused, say, I do this cool project. I found this project interesting. You want to do is the project actually impact the customer. The company will have a value derived from the work you are doing. And when you correlate your work with customer impact, you will also motivate yourself. You will really put more energy and more focus and more time into it. But I will really appreciate that you create that environment for the talent like that to thrive. Because not every corporation will really build a career that way. Because some of the companies, they may say, oh, the people really good in, so I probably shouldn't say the word, but so they're good at politics, or the people really good at strategy, but they never get things done. But you actually build a culture that you reward the people has talent and they really has focus to make business impact and therefore grow their career. So I really feel that is a very unique startup culture.
Yeah, I think I learned that obviously in Amazon, but also reading Bill Campbell, who advised Google and Apple and other companies, and Intuit. He was CEO of Intuit, and he said that very good, technology companies give a lot of authority to the developers as long as they know what they're building. A lot of decision making, even. So that's a very good school. So I'm not sure how much time we have, but do you want to open for questions? Happy to field questions or anything else you want to share.
No, I really like to hear from the audience and anything that Jorge and I can share with you based on our past experience. So I spent almost 30 years in the high-tech industry now, and now help Jorge in his startup. So it has been a wonderful journey. That definitely happy to answer any questions.
Hi. Thank you for your time. I wanted to ask something. I teach here, and you mentioned that there's this concept of scarcity and struggle that we used to have before because we didn't have like the access for all the tools. Now you can open a server, you can upload, you can have a site in minutes, and those things sometimes are not very valuable for some people because they lose the idea or the concept that it was not as available as before. And do you think that struggle or that way of seeing things, that they are really valuable now? How do you think the new generation or the new students can see the value in that and don't see it as normalized as it is? They have to use it to potentialize it, but not. How do you think your experience or the struggle of knowing that it was not as easy before do I explain myself?
So, really great question. This is the same question that unique for this generation. So this generation is the first generation actually facing a problem that you are building a technology, but technology may replace your skill if we do not manage very well. So that is the things I really encourage all students is that one thing don't change is the computer science fundamental doesn't change. So even you have a different tool help you to coding, etc. However, nothing will be replaced is that how you learn the algorithm, how you using a different architecture concept help you building the software, and how you being able to integrate your software into a business process, etc. So vibe coding is a real thing, right? However, if the vibe coding actually work, then you can imagine that most of the software today should be already replaced by somebody. But it's actually not. So if you look at recently the MIT research, find out that 95% AI project did not yield any positive return on investment. And the story around AI is that for the particular our major that we learn computer science ourselves is AI is a tool for us. How we use AI to make our job more productive, it is a very important. However, you cannot replace the great computer science fundamental by AI. I have seen a lot of vibe coding results, etc. I have seen a lot AI generated code myself. One thing is never been replaced is the human's creativity and the training we gone through to build the right software architecture, the right coding pattern, the right algorithm, and the right architecture. So I just talked to professor a little bit earlier this week. When I was trained as a computer science major, compiler, operating system, etc. is really something we need to learn because that teach us a lot of skills. Now I start to see some of the computer science companies start drift away. They are starting to take a shortcut that people using AI to learn all the things. That end up is you will much easier to do homework, but it will be much harder to find a job. So that I'm still really encourage is spend more time to study the fundamental of the computer science, study algorithm. I mean, even I really encourage you all learn operating system as well if still a class offer here, because all those things actually train you differently.
Good night. Thank you very much, Jorge and Tommy, for sharing your experience. It's really great to hear about what you have done. And specifically for us as students, I think it's great to see how that skills that you learned in the past now have helped you to improve. I was wondering because at the beginning you mentioned this of data-driven decisions that are now being made, which is not how it was done in the past. So I was wondering, how can we as students right now start developing that mindset to maybe shift how we think so our decisions and the way in which we design programs is made to reflect that data-driven decision making?
So really good call out on that one. So the data-driven decision is that because traditionally people make decision by instinct, by feeling. And it turns out that many of those decisions is not optimized because your experience or instinct sometimes has limited information, or sometimes the decision was totally built because the people are higher ranking or because people that has long experience. So that is something we all need to start working. But when you go to the work, is really be careful on this is that when I share one sentence with my team before is, if you don't bring data, who got paid highest makes a decision. So you cannot argue with the people or the ranking without data. Right? You argue with argument, you cannot win that argument. So when that is a very important part for all of you when you go to the work, then you need to start to train yourself. Say, if I have different opinion, I have different paths, or I suggest different alternative. Better you do your homework, start to prepare data, collect information, make sure that your argument or your suggestion is a data-driven.
Yeah, I think just responding, just elaborating into that. So that's a very good point. Sometimes people ask me what were the major learnings in Amazon, and I think one of those is make data-driven decisions and make sure you know the data. So I think as a student, you have a lot of opportunities nowadays to get immersed in projects, in real-time projects, or in internships, or work, or try to build your own stuff. As much as you can, try to use data to second your thoughts. Obviously, you will have a hypothesis, you will have an instinct, but whenever you can, use data to really back it up. Very few people actually do that, even after several years of experience working. One of the major struggles, I guess, in when you go out there, or at least what I try to teach in Pacifico, or what I was taught in Amazon, was use data, and you will have a lot of data nowadays. So very, very data driven. Even when, I don't know, when you're trying to get from point A to point B in Guatemala City, there's a lot of traffic. Try to use data to make decisions on what time to leave, what time to arrive, or how to manage your time. Try to use data. Look at your calendar. Am I looking at the data? How are I spending my time? So we're very, very driven on how to optimize. I think getting to that rhythm very early on your life, I think it will help you. So that's a little bit of advice also when you're young. Try to put yourself in those initiatives and try to use numbers as much as you can. I think they'll help you. Yeah.
Good evening. My question, firstly, is as a student, I'm learning new things, of course, but I'm also of two parents that study in systems. One of them is a programmer, and something he always told me was that I'm going in a career that I'm always learning. With this new technology that is AI, the new understanding in data usage that we are now going to be seeing in the university, seeing as our classes are right now. Something I'm like terrified of is actually like what is going to be my future looking like, because at the end of the day, we are going to be still learning new stuff, but like the concept that you were explaining, like learning the basics and stuff, in understanding, like our teacher was saying, like knowing how worth it is, everything that we have now. I have this like fear that we are not gonna be even able ourselves see it in the future, because even what we are gonna be like, oh my God, this is so much better than we learned beforehand, we are not gonna be able to like really utilize it. Like, for example, some of us, I know that we didn't study with the Android studios using Java. We use Kern, the other language, sorry. And that was a change that even though a teacher was like, this is the first time and stuff. So my question is like, how do you like could give us encouragement seeing that path that we're going to have to take, and how would you take like a different viewpoint to see if it's actually like our future or it's not going to be like that?
Great question. So that is always career challenge when even myself, when I choose computer science as a major, the people will tell me, say, hey, Tommy, it's going to be a never-end learning experience because technology continue to evolve, etc. So really appreciate that you share the thought process on that. After 30 years in this field, one thing I know is I really enjoy it. So it is not, if you ask me, do I exchange my career to other major, for example, be a lawyer, be a doctor? I'm not saying lawyer, doctor are bad. But for me, is in the computer science, in the field, working on the cutting edge technology is actually something I enjoy the most. So now if you think about my short 30 years career, I already see 3 major shifts from the internet, from the mobile computing, till now to the AI journey. How many times that if I go back or if I go to other career, can I say that my professional life has tied to 3 major shifts? Very few, right? So if you say, I want to be a lawyer, sure. You just studied the law from the 1980s, and it's changed maybe 3%, 4% based on latest things. But now you are in the things is that you actually can apply technology to change many things. How can we imagine today when the new OpenAI model released in a week, you all can do a lot wonderful stuff on top of it. Last year, there's an announcement actually shocked the entire world. Is you guys probably heard that one called DeepSeek when they released the model on that one. The things actually wonderful from that announcement is people did not know is since DeepSeek announced their model, within 2 weeks, there another 500 model trained by DeepAR has been launched. Because that is the way that if you are in the computer science, you are in this field, how much dynamic or how much excitement you will get from there.
I'm enjoying quite a lot this talk. I'm going to ask different things. I consider myself an ambitious person, so tell me, how feasible do you think it is to build the first unicorn startup here in Guatemala? And can I use AI or any other unexploited opportunities to make such a thing?
Absolutely. I think right now that one thing the technology did for the whole world is to break the barrier. In the past, can I imagine a unicorn from China before the internet age? Impossible. Now you look at all the startups, how many unicorn has been produced in the China that today, right? And if amount of talent I have seen in Guatemala, etc., if we build, I don't think it is it's when we will see the first unicorn. That maybe in 3 years, maybe in 5 years. I think this is definitely a wonderful opportunity ahead of you. And one thing today when I talk to Jorge's team today is one day Pacifico will go public in New York Stock Exchange. And when that happens, I say you all know, just tell the story about Pacifico. You are telling a story about Guatemala. You will be a Guatemala company launched in New York Stock Exchange. I really encourage, and I firmly believe it is when it will happen.
My question was like, if now every computer science student has access to powerful LLMs, was there really individual value that each of us bring, like if we all have access to it, what differentiates from, just any other employee, like from a hiring point of view, And my second question was if you, like, what are the type of choices that you will never allow an AI to make?
So first question on this one is that being able to access LLM is a privilege. It is not a limitation. It's a privilege. Because the way that you will be able to access the latest foundation models that many of the scientists build is actually give you a lot empowerment that you will be able to do a whole lot of things. The second question you asked me is what things I don't allow new graduate to make decisions. Is that correct? Okay. Roughly, there's no limitation, but there is a check balance. So one thing we learn on a lot of our early career or later career, we have a lot like young graduate or new graduate from the college to be part of the team. We hardly set any boundary for them. But there is a checkpoint. So basically that we will do a proper code review before the release to the production. We will review your design proposal, all those things. And the guardrail put there is not limitation. It's try to help you do not make a mistake that's hard to recover. But still, sometimes you will make mistake. But we will learn from it. The worst case is you made a mistake and you don't learn from it, then you will repeat the mistake. I think one story we have about our manager is that he's not new graduate, but he already in school in work for a couple years. But one time, he accidentally deleted 100 database server for Amazon. It's actually bring a significant outage. And he just spent the whole night to recover, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when he finished, he feel very bad, right? He's okay, I probably lost my job. The second day, he went to his manager office. He said, I'm really sorry. So if you want to fire me, I have no complaint. And the manager said, why fire you? You already made one mistake. You learn from it. You won't make the mistake again. If I fire you today, I hire somebody else, then I have to make them make a mistake again. So that is the reason that many of the culture we have been created is we allow the new graduate to exercise their authority and use their judgment. But we also provide training and guidance and help you make sure that one is make less mistake. Second, if you actually make mistake, we want you to learn from it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I would encourage you and the rest of people here, when we're hiring building teams, because obviously computer science is a very scarce resource, and you said it. And I think at the end of the day, when I think you'll find that when you grow into your career, where you're building something, at the end of the day, you want people who have critical thinking, who have very good attitude, who are thinking big, who wants to go into the data, to make decisions with data, who have integrity, are honest, good people, and that are willing to roll up their sleeves and work hard to build something. I think at the end of the day, that's very important. And obviously, the foundation skills that you get in computer science are very good. But at the end of the day, you look at the attitude that the people have. At least I learned a lot in Amazon, and that's what I'm trying to do in Pacifico, is empower people to make a lot of decisions, move fast. Yes, you will do mistakes, but you will learn from them, as long as you don't do it too many times. The attention to detail. So I wouldn't worry about that. And obviously, each company, as you will explore on your options, have a different culture. Not everyone. We're not speaking on behalf of every company in the world or in Guatemala. We're speaking on what our experience, our principles, how we operate. So you'll start to benchmark and use that as you look into your opportunities. So try to find a match on what you want to do and the type of company you want to do, and if you're a person who likes ambiguity and really get excited about a big project, you don't know how to get there, but you'll find a way. Other people need way more structure, and you have to do A, then B, then C. Probably ambiguity, and you don't enjoy ambiguity. Probably a startup is not the right place. So you'll find that out. But my 2 cents are really try to build something, and you're excited about it. So try to find that, and you will succeed. So.
One more point I think I missed. Your first question also called about ChatGPT. I want to elaborate a little bit. Is that the foundation model give you the opportunity, but how to apply AI strategy into your day-to-day operation to change your business, there's still huge gap. So I think Andy Jassy from Amazon said one time is the AI game is just the second pitch of the first inning. It just started. AI at this stage has not changed everybody's life yet. There's still plenty opportunity available for us to really bring AI into your day-to-day business operation. And I think, Jorge, your team is so wonderful that they have demonstrated a lot critical thinking and strategy advance to start to use AI as a real world. So really appreciate that your team's critical thinking on that.
Yeah, just for example, I have a very good example. He's a fourth year now. He's not computer science, but he's a student here at the university. He's been with us for 2 years. His name is Pablo, and he was one of the first adopters of AI, and obviously he's doing very good, and he has very good attitude in the business. So yeah, just try to, but he's fixing problems. I think that's what you're trying to do, fixing problems, because it's very sexy to talk about I'm using AI, but what are you using it for? So just try to be very clear on that, and I think you'll be good.
Hi, thank you guys both for your time. I guess my question goes more on like the side of implementing data-driven decisions inside of a business, but kind of like how it looks like from a management or like a founder perspective. Because I feel like everyone here is able to, for example, be a little cog in the machine. For example, hey, we need to have a model to predict customer satisfaction and find out what matters. But like, how does it look if I want to make my company, for example, and I want to implement that, or like, for example, manage a team of like, I think you said 400 people. How do I go about that? Because let's say Amazon hires me and they're like, you build a team, we want to optimize logistics in Florida. I would have no idea where to start. I know all like the little pieces, but like, how do you piece that all together into something that's like actually valuable and that actually works?
First of all, you have to start measuring what you want to change, because if you cannot measure it, then you cannot change it. So as simple as it sounds, that's big part again of the learning of what you learn in Amazon. So make sure that you're measuring whatever you want to change or what you want to build, and then take it from there. So I'll give you a few examples. I used to work in Tigo before I went for my MBA, and then I'm sure things have changed in Tigo, and I'm not talking bad, but they gave me the privilege when I was about 25 to build a business of internet and cell phones. This was 2009. Very few people had a BlackBerry, and I was in finance. I wanted to build and to run a business. So basically, I was in charge of, okay, you need to grow the business. Claro, at that time was, the only one who was offering BlackBerry services and packages. So I was like, and Telefonica. So I got very excited because I'm competitive, and I was like, all right, I need to grow this business as fast as I can, and I need to make sure that a lot of people have internet in their cell phone. So how do I do that? I started, very curious about what the decision making of the people when they want to purchase a cell phone or a data plan. At that time, that was 15 years ago. A lot of people inside the company were skeptical how many people would buy an iPhone or a $300 phone out of their pocket. And I told them, hey, this already happened. It's already happening in the US. So we started growing, but me as the owner of the business, I wanted to get data. How am I selling? Do I have inventory in the stores? What package are they using? What do they use the data for? And literally I had to go to a department and they would tell me, fill out this paper and come back in 3 weeks. I'll let you know the results. And I'm like, are you crazy? I need to grow the business. I need the information for tomorrow. No, we cannot give the data. Fast forward, I went to MBA, then I went to Amazon. Completely different story. Basically, they tell you, hey, we will give you the data. If you know how to extract queries or build your own queries, then basically you build your own metrics. So that's a shift. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is when you go there, and this is part of the big learning from Amazon. I got there the first day, and my manager tells me you should go to a weekly business review. I was like, what is that? I had an MBA. It's very unique from Amazon. Basically, and at that time I was in Amazon Web Services. Andy Jassy, who's now the CEO of Amazon, he was in a table of like 40 people, and then it was like a big auditorium, and they would go all the Amazon Web Services, page by page, for 6 to 8 hours every week. It was like a Wednesday. Every Wednesday he would sit in the same room, going metrics by metrics. And he was very direct, pointed questions. Why did revenue fall? Why did it increase? And then the person who was leading that service had to stand up and say, hey, this is a reason behind it. If you didn't stand up, it didn't look good. So you must be prepared for those meetings. But that's the expectation. People need to know their data. So basically, and that's an Amazon Web Services, and then I went to e-commerce. It's a very different industry under the same culture, company, but they also have this weekly business review. You start with the customer backwards, then look at, click delivery time, you look at how many SKUs, you look at the pricing, revenue, but it's very focused on metrics. So responding to your question, whenever you want to build something, just know what you want to measure, start measuring, and then iterate very fast. Sounds easy. I think today is very easy, but having that culture of like measuring that day to day, week by week, month by month, quarter by quarter, year by year, that's a very unique and something that we install, and that's part of our success, that intensity of data-driven decisions. So there's a lot of literature nowadays on how you do that, but just making sure that you install that, it's terrific. So regardless of if you study management or computer science or industrial engineering, just having that mindset, I think it's super helpful. So highly advised. Of anything else?
Yeah, I think great question there is. One thing is that if you start your business or you're doing some suggestions, there's one thing that we learn from Amazon is building an input and output model. So understand what is the input you can control, and eventually how you manage your output.
Hi, good evening. My name is Dan. Nice to meet you. I have 2 short questions. My first question is about, you talk about the skill that a developer must have, that is good attitude, the desire to be successful, and my friend talked about the skill with the AI. My question is, what do you think about the skills to the pipeline to have the thoughts to create the solution from a problem? What do you think about are the good skills to transform this problem to a solution? And my second question is about, what do you think about the solutions or the products that were created before AI and after AI are better solutions, or the AI also level up the solutions and this? Thank you.
Sure. Probably I give a try on this question. Your first question is that just for any student to learn the fundamental computer science is most important. The operating system, the compiler, the algorithm is the most important. And the programming skills is also matter, because if you do not get enough hands-on, you do not write enough code, you do not debug enough trouble, etc., you probably has less comprehension as well as less appreciation for the beautiful architecture. So that is number one, very important. Number 2 question you asked, what's the difference between the software we wrote before and the software we have in the AI generation? I think there's 3 things really outstanding. In the past, when we write software, it's a deterministic approach. So basically, you have interface, you have parameter, you have fixed algorithm. And your professor probably always teach you is when you write function, you have same input, you should have same output. So AI is different. But AI actually introduced some probability into the whole thing. Because if you look at the new protocol has been introduced, etc., they are not fixed contract anymore. Even today, when Jorge's team and I working on building an AI solution, large amount of programming language is English. It is not actually writing a software. It's actually how you've been able to articulate your problem correctly. That's number one. Number two is different is you suddenly found out that your model or language has a reasoning, has a thinking now. So how to utilize that skill, how to use that one in the right context, and how to use that one to make your software that not only just give answer, but also give a reason of the answer, is become like super possible. Because in the past, when we do the supply chain optimization, my business holder always asks, hey, why we make decision to purchase this product at this amount? Most of situation we will say, we don't know. Computer decided. But right now, you actually can have an AI algorithm or etc. to help you answer that question. The third one is, with AI, your job role separation has been super bland or blurred. So in the past, you already have a product manager, you have designer, you have business analyst, you have front-end developer, back-end developer, you have tester. With AI, all the progression, etc., all those separation has been blurred. The people actually will be able to process many skills. Then they actually can do a job now. When you ask me about unicorn, right now the terminology is single-person unicorn. Because the single person can do marketing, can do management, can do front-end design, and can do implementation. So that is the three things I see that will be very different from here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And well, first of all, thank you for being here. My question would be, as students, we know that the most valuable thing that we have is our time, and wasting it in things that are not going to be for something good or something for the people is like a waste of time, basically. So my question would be, when can I know implementing something into the market is going to be valuable by using AI? Like, for example, implementing it in science or in medicine, in stock, I don't know. And that leads me to my second question. Which field in the market is going to be like the most high, or the one that's going to have the most boom in, well, this year and the rest of the years by using AI?
If I know all the answer, I already been billionaire myself. So I will give you a try that how I would answer the question. The first question is, your first statement is actually very critical. So one of my Amazon leader told me is, Tommy, your best currency is your time. So where you invest your time is actually the most important that you will get a return back. Your question is ask me, say, where you spend time to do a startup, etc. Is that my answer will be, you never know. You have to give a try and let market to tell you that is this a right idea or not. Even Jorge started the company in Guatemala. At that time, my first question to him is, are you sure the people in Guatemala are going to use the internet and pay you? Right. So there are so many questions that until you try it, you do not know this thing is real or not. Your second question, my honest answer still is same, I don't know. However, I would think that the people who embraced AI and can use AI, can apply AI, will have better future than people who reject AI.
Sure. Yeah, I think more. I guess I can relate to my experience on yeah, I totally agree, and it's great that you're thinking about it. I don't think I was thinking like you're thinking on time is my most valuable resource when I was your age, so that's a good beginning. I would guess, at least in my experience, I always knew I wanted to build something or build a company or build something that was meaningful for people. I started, in the corporate world. I studied finance and economics. I joined I did internships. I joined a big firm. I learned a lot. When I got there, I was like, I'll be here for a few years, but this doesn't really excite me. I'm learning a lot of good skills. Then I switched to Tigo, and I started in finance. After 3 months, I'm like, I don't like what I'm doing, but I'm going to find something else. And this is where I'm telling you, I moved from finance to helping build this internet or the product or help people adopt it by democratizing. So in that occasion, I learned a lot about myself and my interest on this is something that I really enjoy doing. So I enjoyed working with developers, for example. I really liked. Well, I told him what the problem is because I have that skill set, I think, but I don't know how to write code. I was telling Tommy when I was coming here. Unfortunately, I don't know how to write code. I would love to write code on my own, but it's not a good investment of time at this point in time now. But I really enjoyed what I was doing, and that helped me learn a lot about myself. And then I was like, I felt the days were going by pretty fast because I was enjoying my time there. And that's something my grandfather told me one time. Is like, when you find something that time goes by pretty fast, you found something that you love doing. So try to find that. It sounds cliche, but I think it's a good advice that I received, and it's something I tell my kids now. And I even tell people who join Pacifico, is like, you will start somewhere. I hope you last here for long, but try to find different areas, and the area that you feel you like it and time goes by pretty fast and you're engaged thinking about it here, and we go home, you'll find the sweet spot. So in my case, I found the sweet spot of building something. I went to get my MBA, and then I was exploring different career change or investment banking or consulting or joining a technology company. I ended up joining a technology company. I worked for Google in my internship, and in Google I was more in the sales and marketing team. I did not like it because I had to go and sell stuff. I don't like doing that. And if I want to be a product manager, I had to do computer science. I didn't have computer science, so I was, all right, I'm not going to be at Google. Fortunately, in Amazon, they allow product managers. So I went to a company that I really like the principles, customer obsession, think big, always be learning. That's something I encourage you all. Like, yes, you're doing computer science as Tommy did, but things will evolve, But at the end of the day, I was fortunate enough, I guess, to enter a company, and I learned about an industry. And at the end of the day, that industry we didn't have anything here in this part of the world. That's e-commerce, logistics. Hopefully, we get into other industries down the road. So I saw opportunities. So don't try to force yourself. I guess that's what I say. Try to find something that you like. And opportunities will come as long as you give your 100 or more % of what, because that you can manage. Give everything you can do. It sounds, again, like cliche. Very few people do that, by the way. So try to find something that you enjoy doing, give everything, and you'll be very successful. Sounds easy. Very few people do it. So I think that's a good investment of your time. Learn a lot. I think you all will have very good options on salaries, on working for companies in here or in the US. Don't try to optimize your return of dollars in the next 5 years or even 10 years. Is your knowledge. Wherever you will find a place to learn, I think that's the best way to invest your time. Very few people, again, take that advice, but the long-term value and the net present value when you study finance, you will be optimized because you're doing what you like, not because of the dollars. So I think that's my advice on how to use your time. I'm hoping you're all studying computer science here because you love the field, not because it's a high-paying job. So that's my advice there on that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Late class. But if there's no question, I want to say a couple things on this one. Is that Jorge showed example that be an entrepreneur will change many people's life. And the amount of the young people, I think your office is like only 25 average. And yeah, so many people will be able to learn new skill because he bring a new company to Guatemala is really recommendable. And today when I talk to the people that how much they learn from the experience with you is great. Second part I want to say is that you are in a golden age. You are in a right major. You are in learning the best possible skill in the industry. Be yourself. Enjoy the time. And embrace the latest technology. You will enjoy it and you will learn a lot. And you will be the frontier to use the technology, change many aspects of our life.